Hey guys.
Hello.
I don't have a cough drop in my mouth still. That's not what I have. Welcome, Taylor.
Hi.
Um, Taylor inspired us all to wear tank tops to the show today. Um, would you like to share the story, Taylor?
Yeah, so on the topic of burnout and outside influence, my mom wanted me to wear a professional shirt. When I had this tank top on, I thought this was lovely enough, but she wanted to iron and give me a shirt. But the lovely ladies here told me that I am my own person. I can be an individual. I don't have to listen to my mom anymore. So I took the shirt off. Now I'm a free-flowing individual with a tank top.
And
Sorry,
comfortable.
Taylor's mom.
You heard it here. You heard it here first. Marina goes, gotta change. Be right back. Perfect. Perfect.
But yeah. Welcome to Taylor to episode 22. We are so grateful to have you and so glad you're able to join us. Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. I love you guys, so I'm so excited to talk about one of my favorite topics, um, burnout, taking care of yourself when you want to work yourself into the ground. For sure.
Yeah.
We have just a little bit of housekeeping before we dive in. Thank you to Alyssa for filling in for Morgan last week. It was great to have you. Morgan will be joining us on May 15th, so we are so excited to have her. Um, it's I'm just gonna say it. It's our birthday month. We are trying to get something planned, so we're working on it. Tentatively 5/29, but
We'll
we'll
let you
see.
know. We'll
And
let you know.
yeah, please follow, listen, and rate us anywhere you can get your podcast. And if you haven't already, join the Discord. We have afternoon body doubling. If you want company when you work, we can look at your resumes. Anything you really need. It's just a nice community that we're building over there. So yeah, we'd love to have you.
Yeah. And for next week, did you say next week? Or did I miss it?
5:15. I did not say next week.
Oh, so next week we're not gonna have a show, so there's no show next week. We're gonna be celebrating our birthdays. And we are gonna see each other, which is gonna be great. So
Yeah. What are you guys doing?
I
Jamie wants to get a pedicure. Oh, okay.
am trying to figure
Pedicures
out.
are lovely.
Yeah, my partner and I are going to like the Pacific Northwest, because he has friends in Seattle, but we're also gonna go to Portland for like a couple days, and so we were gonna just like meet Rebecca and her husband out to dinner. But also, I'm like, I kind of want to get a mani pedi because we got mani pedis at this place near her, and it was literally
Mhm.
like the best place I've ever been to in my life.
Oh, nice.
They did like it was my first like hot stone massage. And
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever had that, but on your feet and your calves,
Never.
oh my god. It's like you don't know like how sore and tired your feet and legs are until that happens. So,
You a long nail girly or a short nail girly?
I'm a short nail girly. I don't like
Yeah, same.
I mean, grow them out like a teeny bit, so like they have a little shape, but I can't do the long nails. I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, either. No, I just gank myself accidentally constantly. Like I'll do something and then like gouge out skin, and it's just short is better.
I'm like, how do I type angrily and spitefully like with
I
these?
know, right? Whenever I But you get
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
need the nails, pad. I like just cut them off so I can just like type like a maniac.
Marina,
Yes.
Marina
Yes.
says, "How do you wipe your butt with long dagger nails?" You get a bidet, Marina. That's what you do.
Yes.
I have well, so you're in Hawaii, Taylor. Does Hawaii have bidets?
So Hawaii does not have bidets, no. I mean, if you go to maybe like a fancier hotel, sometimes they have it, but it's very like minimalist here. That's what I love. That's what I'm scared about moving is that the vibe here is very laid back, and I've kind of fallen into that too. It's not like hustle and bustle. One thing I absolutely love is that when you meet people, it's not like, hey, what's your name and what do you do for a living? It's like, what do you enjoy doing on the weekends? Or like, what are you about? What are your hobbies? So that's something that I really dislike about the mainland that I'm not looking forward to. But yeah, no bidets and great people.
That sounds really
That
great.
was the
too.
weirdest question I have ever heard you ask. Is
I'm
Hawaii
sorry. I just like was thinking about it. That's all. Like, I didn't think so, but I don't know.
It's still the United States.
That could be. I know.
But they're becoming popular in the US.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
wondering.
the portable kind. The kind that you connect to your toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to me, it's like it's cool to have a bidet, but I feel like there should be a drying aspect after. I'm not sure how it works. You just use the
Listen,
wet.
that's why you need a Toto toilet, the Japanese toilets that like they have songs, they have warm dryers, they have air.
They,
Okay.
like blow dry
That is my
your cooch.
yeah, that's my so
Yeah.
when I get enough money, I'm getting a Japanese toilet. They light up, they sing. That's my dream.
That's not
Shut up,
terrifying.
I
Jamie.
like that.
That's not terrifying. I didn't say anything.
Listen,
I'm all
some of
for.
us want to have a dry cooter.
No, that's fine. I use less toilet paper, but I do still like dry a little bit.
All right, we have to
Have
stop
you
talking
used a
about this
bidet?
now. I'm done.
Yeah.
No, we have to stop. We have to stop. We have to stop.
I think
This
the
is not our
title of
podcast.
this
We have to stop.
episode should be like, "Does Hawaii have bidets?"
Have a bidet. It's a great. I love that. I love that.
All
Anyway,
right. No. But yeah, Taylor, we would love to hear kind of like what was sort of the genesis of your burnout and sort of what brings you here today.
Yeah, so my backstory, I am a finance writer. I started writing about finance back in maybe 2011 or 12ish when it was like the height of the like personal finance and blogging
Yeah.
era. And so I was writing just about student loan, repaying my student loans, blah, blah, blah. And I absolutely hated my job. So I decided I was going to try to make it as this blogger. And so I quit my job and I wanted to make money from my blog. That wasn't happening right away. I had no patience. So I started freelance writing. And I think my first gig as a freelance writer wasn't even in finance. It was writing about Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, like a gossip blog. And I think I made like $25 for a few articles.
Yes.
But I saw money and I was like, I'm gonna do this. So that is the beginning of a long story. I was freelancing for almost like maybe 9-ish years.
Mhm.
But the money started getting really, really good, and I had a lot of like credibility in the space. So I was getting a lot of work, and burnout happened when I was just like taking on so many assignments because I wanted to meet income goals and I wanted to be this business person that I envisioned in my head. And yeah, that's when I burnt out. I had to pretty much give up the business.
Yeah. So you started looking for a full-time gig, or did you take a break in between?
Yeah, no, I took, let me see. I kind of the break was I was forced to do a break because a lot of my contracts ended or clients like no longer needed me for work, and kind of me and my husband were just on the same page in the fact that I didn't really need to replace that income. So I just started winding down and decided maybe it was a good idea for me to go into a full-time job where I didn't have to always think about where the next dollar was going to come in, or like think about getting more clients, or like the benefit of being a freelancer is that there's unlimited income. You can make as much as you want because you can work as much as you want, but that's also like the downside. You can always be working at night on the weekends. So it just
Yeah.
made more sense at the time in our lives for me to get a full-time job, and I've liked it ever since.
and that's like we talked about earlier how when you're freelancing, like you never necessarily know like where your next paycheck is coming from, or like when a client's gonna drop you or not have as much to
Mhm.
give you as like normally they do. So kind of fixes that
Yeah.
problem too a little bit, makes it look a little more attractive for a full-time gig, I guess.
Yeah. So when I had started writing, it was really sexy and cool to be like a digital nomad and like a blogger or a freelancer. And I just created this ideal. Like once I tell people sometimes that instead of like quitting my job and deciding to go a whole different path, I could have benefited from therapy at the time because really I was trying to fix. Is that an odd thing to say? I was like, I needed help, but I think I
Same.
was
Yeah.
trying to fix something in myself. Um, because I envisioned like if I made this money, if I have my own business, and if I'm able to build this clout for myself, I will feel happy. And it got to the point where I did those things. I made the income and I got to where I wanted to be, and there was still something not there. So I just kind of I had to dial it back and figure out what my values are, what I wanted, and it was not to work myself into the ground constantly.
And thank God.
Thank God, yeah.
Thank God for that. That's actually, I think we both met Taylor when she was freelancing. And when we reached out to her for the show, I told Rebecca, I was like, oh, we should reach out to Taylor. Like, Taylor would be great on this show. And we hadn't ever gotten to like talk to her like this and kind of like meet her virtually. It was just, you know, thanks for the assignment. You know? Like, you're awesome. But I told her she was like always one of our favorite freelancers because she was just,
yes,
you work very hard and you do really great work. So we were so excited to see.
It was so good to hear.
Yeah.
Oh, you really do. You really do. You also mentioned that like you were was it in Germany when you were freelancing too? So like you were having to like go through the stress of setting up all the other stuff on that side of the world without any help?
So I am a military spouse. So we move kind of like every 3 years. So our first tour together, I don't know if they call it, okay, so I'm a military spouse, but also I have joined this whole thing as a military spouse later in my husband's game. So like, you know, a lot of military spouses are indoctrinated into like the life. So they know all the terminology and stuff. I don't. So I don't know if going to Germany was a tour or like a move. I don't know. So if you
I like tour.
anyone,
It sounds fancy. We're on a
yeah,
tour. Yes.
if anyone listening to this is like, she doesn't know what you're talking about, I don't. But we were in Germany and our entire family was there. And it was cool because when I was freelancing, of course, I could take my career with us. And a lot of military spouses aren't really able to work because they move so much. But when I was in Germany, I also had to set up a German business because the German tax authority will like find you and it will not be good if you don't pay German taxes. I had to get a German accountant. One year I paid 30,000 euro in taxes. I cried because I know, because and I at the time after I paid taxes, I was like, my husband Tom, why am I even working? I'm just working to give all of my money to Germany. But um so yeah, that's how it worked. And then after that, fortunately, we left, and here we have a lot of tax breaks if you're like a solopreneur. But there, we didn't qualify for some of those tax breaks because we didn't like use their healthcare, and we didn't have like a retirement plan. Like here, you can contribute to a retirement plan and reduce your tax liability. Not there. So that was a hurdle. But I mean, overall, we love that experience living in another country. Not many people get to do that.
Did you learn a lot of German when you were there?
No, not a lot
No.
because no. So COVID, so we had a German a tutor, like a language tutor, and then COVID happened and we didn't go anywhere to practice it, so we couldn't talk to anybody. So that was like 1 year of our life there. So after that, and then when we would try to use German, they were just like, don't just talk to us in English because they know English. So when we're like
Don't.
struggling to say something, they're just like,
Please don't.
9.
Yeah.
yeah, no.
Wow. Those warm, fuzzy Germans.
Yeah. It was cool.
Marina
Well,
said,
that's great.
stationed is what I hear a lot. Stationed.
Oh,
There you go. Yeah. You are correct. You are correct.
I still like being on tour. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Tour.
I think that's good.
The European leg of our tour.
Exactly. Yeah.
So then after
So
you guys, oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say we're now stationed in Hawaii, and then we're moving back in a few months to Maryland on the East Coast.
Oh, wow.
I didn't realize it was that soon.
Me either.
Yeah. I'm a little
Nice.
scared, excited but scared.
Well, I hope it's going to be a great move for you guys. And are you going to be closer to family then?
Yeah, much closer.
Okay, cool.
All of our family is on the East Coast, so yeah, we'll be a lot closer to them.
Very nice.
That'll be good.
Awesome.
So Yeah, I'm really interested too. Like one of the things you talked about, one of the other ways that you started getting out of burnout, and we don't have to go into it, but you mentioned like you had a health scare, and so it was kind of this wake up call that like, oh, none of this is important, and like this is what's important, and it was kind of
Yeah.
like a slap in the face.
Yeah. So I kind of had the epiphany about burnout in between Germany and Hawaii when I made my income goals, and I was just realizing that I was still unhappy when I was doing all the things I set out to do. And so I took a major step back and just realized that the things that I were working on was just, it was driving me. The stress level was just like not sleeping at night, not being present with my daughter, my husband. It was not working. So I took that step back, and then at the beginning of the year, we had a baby. But after we had, first of all, it was an emergency C-section. And after that, I got postpartum preeclampsia, which to people who've never had a baby before, it's basically this illness where you have a baby and, or even before you have the baby, your blood pressure just goes uncontrollably high and they have to try to figure out how to bring it down. And then sometimes it's very hard to find the cocktail of medicine that can. And so during that, you're at risk of heart attack, stroke, seizure. So your blood pressure is supposed to be 120 over 80. Mine was maybe 180 over like 110. Yeah. So it was just
Wow.
yeah, it was incredibly scary. And it was like it over several weeks, I had to just keep going into the emergency room. And it was the first time I've ever had a brush with like a health scare because I'm 36. I feel like that's relatively young. I've never had to worry about anything like that. So it was being in an ICU and realizing, wait, I'm not thinking about the work that I was doing. I'm not thinking about how much money I was going to make or how much money I had in the bank. I'm actually thinking about the time that I could be missing with my kids or my husband. So I think that just like I made the decision, hey, I'm going to step back. I'm not going to allow myself to constantly say yes to things about a year ago or a little bit more. But that situation just cemented the fact that what matters to me. It matters that my family knows that I'm a good person, that I'm caring, that I showed up for them. I don't want to be remembered as someone who's just constantly working, which is what I feel like my daughter kind of thinking sometimes at that time. That's not what I want to leave this earth. Mommy was always in her office.
Yeah.
And then she had my brother and she died, and all I remember is her working on the computer. Now, so yeah, it's a morbid thought, and I don't want to bring it down. Because I look at it and laugh now, like that was a crazy time. I can't believe that happened to me. Like that's a crazy story that I'm gonna tell 10 years from now. But it's really like put things into perspective. It's great to create things, but also don't create your own hell. What I try to tell myself, like don't do something only to realize that later on it doesn't even fulfill you. Like you keep moving in this direction because you think you should, but at the end of the day, you end up being miserable because of it. So it's okay to let things go, I guess. Even if you work for a long, like I worked for 9 years on it, it was fine to
Yeah.
let it go.
When my daughter was little, she would be like, "Are you guys done paying the house off yet?" Because we told her, she was like, "Why do you guys work so much?" And it's like, "Oh, so we can pay the house off." And she's like, every week, she's like, "Are you done paying the house off?"
Oh
That's
It's
my
like,
so
gosh.
cute.
Yeah.
And so sad. And so sad.
I know, but
Does she still ask?
I feel you.
no, now she's like, ugh. But I mean, that's a really good point though. Like, you don't want your daughter to be like, "Well, all my mom did was work, and then she's gone," and it's like that's a super sobering thought. I mean, I haven't thought about it like that, but yeah, that's 100% accurate. You don't want that. Um, yeah.
Not at all. So after, I mean, I'm not perfect. I was telling you earlier that today I took a day off from work. But I filled up the entire day with stuff. So I'm like still working on, because burnout, I think it relates to work, of course, but then it relates to all areas of your life, like making appointments all the time. And so today I went
Rebecca
to,
left. Uh-oh. Okay.
there you are. So today I booked therapy, which is great, of course. I love going to therapy, but I also booked like other social engagements and all these things. I took off the day specifically for this. So
Yeah.
it's a constant struggle, but
Yeah.
it's always going back to like what am I feeling And in the case of me, since I have a family, like what's my family feeling, and do I need to reevaluate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you're comfortable getting into this, this is something that Jamie and I haven't really had experience with, but it was really fascinating. So we've talked about like generational trauma, and breaking those cycles. But one of the things you brought up when we were talking the other night was generational burnout, and how, like, as a kid of immigrants, that's something that you're currently working on breaking the cycle. And we would love to hear more about that because I think a lot of us are really unfamiliar with it. And it really is, I think, not talked about enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So my family, my mom and dad are from Jamaica and Trinidad. So they immigrated to the US, and they did a lot to, um, they sacrificed a lot to get us in a financial position where they could pay a lot of our college, like for me and my brother. I mean, we still had some loans, but they did a lot for us. So as a first generation American, it's on your shoulders to really do as good or better than the family who brought you here. Basically, just as like paying respect to them almost. So that was a heavy burden on my shoulders because I don't feel like I fit the mold of typical, like, I didn't want to be a doctor. I didn't really want to be a lawyer. I didn't want to be an engineer. I didn't want to be all of those things that an immigrant parent wants you to be. So I think that was one of the reasons I burnt out when I was a writer, because I mean, if you tell a parent, any parent, much less an immigrant parent, that you want to leave your job to be a writer, that's just, it's like, what the hell? So that always weighed heavily on me. And I think that was one reason why I put so much effort into a lot of the things I did, because I wanted to show them like, hey, I'm not in a conventional career path. I can still be successful. So that's something that I think maybe in my late 20s, I kind of got less pressure from them. I think they realized, hey, Taylor has to live her life. She's going to do what she wanted to do. But then it was kind of pressure I was putting on myself to prove that I made the right move. And so, in leaving my freelance career and like kind of changing my perspective, that was one of the things I had to do. I kind of had to tell myself that it's okay to let a lot of that go.
Was it seen like you not is it seen as like disrespectful to what they sacrificed and all the work to get you where they are? Or was it they just didn't want you to have to like sacrifice and struggle so much? And like they were just worried about like you being successful?
I think at first it might have been the first, not disrespectful, but more like, did you see what we sacrificed to get you
Yeah.
here? Like, are you sure that that's going to take you where you think it's going to go? And I think the change in them was, you know what, this is her journey now. So yes, we did X, Y, and Z, but she is free to do what she needs to do, I guess.
Like
But I think
not
it's
wear a
also,
freshly ironed shirt over the tank top. She really
yeah,
does.
but I feel like as everyone can see, the growth is still happening because my mother was like, you need to wear a shirt, and I wore the shirt. So we
But
can
you reached
see
out for help.
the
We heard
pressure.
your call.
I reached, I did. I did. So I'm still working on it. Old habits die hard. But yeah.
For
What
sure.
did your parents do? Did they work mostly out of the house when you were growing up? Or was your mom, did she stay at home?
No. So and it's funny because in some ways I'm kind of like recreating. If you learn this a lot in therapy sometimes, like, you recreate your past.
Yeah.
So my dad was in the Air Force. He was in the Air Force for, I believe, 30-ish years. But there's like
Oh, wow.
8 ranks in the Air Force, and he made it all the way to the top. So that was, yeah, he did really well in his career. And then my mom was a pharmaceutical sales person. And have
Oh,
you seen like
wow.
Love and Other Drugs? That movie? Like, she did that. And she did really well in her career too. So, yeah. And so my dad was not, he was traveling a lot because he like actually worked on planes and flew around. And my mom was the one who took care of us a lot, but she was often working. So sometimes I feel like it's, that same kind of habit has just kind of happening with me. And so that's why I had to take a step back. And she lives with us right now while she's helping me take care of our young baby. So we've actually had a lot of really in-depth conversations about me kind of doing the same things that she does and things that she wished maybe she didn't do and what I could change, I guess, for our daughter as well. So, yeah.
That's really lovely that she's at least like willing to talk to you about it too and sort of change
Yeah,
her
Yeah.
mindset.
which is which is big. I like one of the things in like just the Black community in general is that things aren't necessarily talked about. And so it is really a big thing that she's willing to have some of these conversations because it's usually like things don't get talked about. Like money is one thing and feelings is another thing. And so it is really big that she's willing to talk about like our history and like our future.
Yeah. No,
It's
that's really great. And
it's also
and
refreshing
plus like,
for a
yeah,
parent.
your
Hmm.
daughter's seeing that in real time too. Like she's
Hmm.
seeing that conversation happening and like that communication
Yeah,
happening too.
yeah, it's really
That's so
awesome.
nice.
Me and my daughter are very communicative. We talked about this a little bit before. I'm kind of like balancing how I want to parent her with how I've been brought up because like in the case of like when I was brought up, it was you have to go upstairs and learn your times tables before you can come downstairs. Like it was very like study, do this. And so for me, I'm really like, okay, let's do your homework. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. But I'm trying to balance. I don't want her to be like a failing student, but I also don't want to pressure her into this horribly anxious student. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a learning experience.
Do you set up like do you have you set rules for yourself of like, okay, I'm done working at this time, or like do you set times apart to like spend time with the kids on your own, or like how do you kind of carve out that time for yourself and for your kids?
Yeah, for sure. So since I work 9 to 5 now, that's basically it. 9 to 5. Um, I don't try to work over. If anything, I'll work during my lunch or maybe lately I've been
Yeah.
working a little bit earlier during the day.
Hmm.
That's because my son wakes up at 6 anyway. So, and
Yeah.
since I'm on Hawaii time, it just kind of works better. So, yeah, evenings are family time.
Nice.
Nice.
It's really
Yeah, I love that.
it always feels so good to like start setting boundaries and start saying no. It's so hard to do, but I know in my life when I started saying no to people and no to things, like my mental health was so much better.
Oh yeah, 100%. But also, I don't think so. We talk a lot about saying no. Just I feel like that's a hot thing, and I do it. You're doing it. We're learning it. But I don't think we talk enough about the response that you're gonna get often from people because it's not always
Ooh.
positive.
Very true.
Like I had when I was a freelancer, I had situations where I was doing some work for people that I don't think I was being paid enough. Like sometimes I was working on weekends. Like I remember my husband booked before we got married, he booked us like this Poconos trip away and we were supposed to like have a little fun in a cabin and I was working. And then I remember that the person I was working for wasn't really paying me that well for like a month of work and I thought we were pretty close. Um, and I ended up like just confronting it, being like, yeah, I would like to be paid X. Like, I don't think this is working out. And the response like wasn't great. So I feel like sometimes we think that we're gonna say no, and it's gonna be like the sun, like the clouds are gonna open, the sun's just gonna flow down, and like everything's gonna be right in the world. But there is gonna be pushback, and it is gonna feel uncomfortable. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you've experienced that.
Oh
Yeah, because
yeah.
then how are they supposed to exploit you and get you to work for free, Taylor? Like you
Yeah,
can't say no.
Hmm.
I
yeah, it's
hate that.
tough. When you set boundaries, it's not always gonna be pleasant, but it's
Patriarchy
worth
and
it.
consumerism.
Hmm.
That's what it's about.
Exactly.
That's what it's about.
Well, and
Yeah.
you said your husband's learning alongside you too, because you said he's also like first gen, and so like you guys are learning this together and going through that together. So like to have that kind of support too, and you're not just on your own, that's also got to be really nice because that probably
Yeah,
helps you
it's
keep those boundaries in place.
yes, exactly. He's helped me so much. So we've known each other for a very long time. We met when we were like 6 or 7, and we've like we're together. Well, actually, no, we hated each other, came together, left together, And so we know a lot about each other. And so since he is first gen Korean, and so my parents are from the Caribbean, his mom is from Korea, but there's some similarities in just like the very strict kind of nature. Like you do in Korea, like you're a doctor, you're this, you're this. So it's very similar in that way. So even him going to the army was like a stretch because that's not something that his mom has really like seen before in their family. So, but yeah, I think to justify his career choices and just to like make himself feel like he's also achieving, he's worked his ass off
Yeah.
in his career and devote like he's been to Iraq multiple times, he's been a drill sergeant, he's taken on all these different roles that just to keep moving up. And so we both at the same time were just like, we can't do this. Like his body is literally like me mentally breaking down. His body is because it's a very physical job. So
Yeah.
we're both always trying to encourage each other, just like let it go. Like the army is still gonna be the army if you don't give 100%. And just like we were talking about before, his like 75% is someone's like
Yes.
150%. Like give 75. So but yeah, we're trying to just separate our self-worth from what we do because we're people outside of this.
Which
Yeah.
is
That's oh, sorry, go ahead, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, which is so hard to do. Like, it's just like, like, I mean, even talking about how Rebecca was talking about how M used to be like, did you pay off the mortgage yet? It's like, even like at a young
Yeah,
age, I think like we start out by being like, oh, we gotta work, we gotta work, we gotta make money.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and we just like go through these phases of life and these like different decades of our life. And I think a lot of us don't realize what you realized until we're in like our 30s or 40s.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I know people like just don't like aging, but I've found that my 20s like were the worst time in my life. I don't know why people like that. I feel like Gen Z, I'm not Gen Z, so I don't know what generation you guys are in, but um
Millennials.
they
We're
yeah,
geriatric
I don't
millennials, so
I think I am too, so no worries. Um, they romanticize this youth thing, and I feel like between 24 and 30, like things were hell. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was
Mm.
very I don't know. And so I just the awakening in my 30s going through like literal hell and coming back, it's just yeah, I just enjoy it so much more than being I'll take this over being young any day.
Yeah. You said something really lovely about like not letting yourself be defined by your work, but like letting yourself be defined by the people you love and the people who love you.
Yeah,
That's really
that's
nice.
a major thing. Or just like activities. I realized that well coming up in the 2000 I don't know, did you guys blog at all? I know that you guys haven't freelanced, but do you blog?
Yes.
Did you do like finance blogging?
No. I did lifestyle blogging. I did like all the
Okay.
free swag and all that shit in like the early 2000s.
So you're with me here. It almost that was a hobby, I guess. Like and
Hmm.
then it turned into like monetization was your hobby. So
Yeah.
I realized that I don't have any hobby that's like not related to money. So that's something I'm trying to find, I guess, myself in. Like I've started painting,
Oh,
just
nice.
Nice.
like hanging out with friends. I don't know, just finding things other than work because in a lot of respects you can't. We talked a little bit about this before. Like your skill will help you move up, but sometimes it has nothing to do with skill. It's who you know,
I know.
what relationships you've made, whether they like you, they don't like you. And my husband has been telling me like if you base yourself off of some things that you don't have control over, that's like really a negative place to be in.
And that could be
So I'm
super
trying not to
harmful.
let
Yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. So I still think it's important to set goals. I don't want anyone to think that I'm now just like a slacker. I've decided I don't want to work hard. But I just I just don't want to be wrapped up all the way in it. It's something I do, but it's not who I am.
No, and morbidly, we'll be dead at some point anyway, and I would rather spend it not wrapping myself up in my job. And that's something we're still learning. But I mean, that really hits home. Just like it's all going to end anyway. Might as well just spend it with people who you like and doing what you want to do.
And in Rebecca's case too, like she lives her life to give me material to show up my PowerPoint presentation at her funeral. So I'm just collecting. Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'll invite you to her funeral, Taylor. Don't worry.
It'll be a
I love
multimedia,
that. Yes.
audio, visual extravaganza.
Yes, I love that. I can't wait. Well, I don't want to be there anytime soon. So this will be like 50 years from now.
I don't know. She
100
said she
years from
can't
now.
wait, Rebecca. So
Okay. Well, we'll speed that along for you, I'm sure. Listen, at 13, she's speeding it along already just fine. So, yeah. I don't know.
I was thinking of, you were saying how like coming from immigrant parents, and then you're like, I'm gonna be a writer. I'm quitting my job and I'm gonna be a writer. Like that's kind of what my friend did, who also has immigrant parents, and was like, I'm gonna be a stand-up comedian. So I feel like,
How did that
Oh
go?
no.
yeah. So
And she or he's still doing stand-up
yes,
comedy?
actually, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And he's great, but like, yeah. At least you weren't like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do
Like,
stand up. I'm gonna be a funny man, Mom. Like, no.
yeah, I don't know. It's hard to have those conversations, so I commend your friend. Like it's not easy. Like that we're always everything we see online is like follow your dream, follow your passion, but it's not always that easy.
Was there
There's a lot of things.
like pressure? Was there pressure from your parents to kind of like meet a standard of who they think like a model immigrant should be? Is that like what it was? Was it just like we need to like kind of like put our best foot forward, or was it just like we just need you to work hard?
Yeah, I think it wasn't being a model immigrant. It was just mostly work hard. Like work
Yeah.
hard, be something. Um Also, I think there's an element, and maybe it's all families. I don't know if this is just an immigrant family, but you want to be able to, like, what your kids do is an extension of you. So
Yeah.
being able to say, hey, they're doing this, or like in conversation, like, I guess looking back at it, I can see where they're coming from because if family members are asking, like, hey, what's Taylor up to? And they can't explain it, it's kind of
And
like,
they're like, oh, she just quit her job and she's gonna be
She
a writer.
writes
She
about
gets,
on the internet.
yeah,
When
about
they say
money,
write on the internet with that tone,
but she
the
doesn't have
internet.
any, so like we don't know what's going on. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. And I
yeah,
think the assumption is that like writers are broke. So like is she or also the assumption is that writers write novels, like that type of thing. Like there's just a question, like what
yeah,
exactly is she writing?
yeah, very true.
So I it was an education aspect on my part as well to kind of show them in their terms what I do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It is always funny to
it was
hear your parents like try to explain what you do to somebody else, I think.
yeah, yeah.
Marina said, is
Yeah.
trophy wife a passion? That's what I want.
Ooh.
Hi, Rob. Welcome in.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, that is a passion of mine for someday. I love that.
Yeah.
There's a meme going around with just like pictures of fucking Anna Nicole Smith and a Heidi from the Playboy Bunnies, and it's just like, this is how much I don't want to work anymore. It's just,
Oh, jeez.
I'm like,
Well,
yeah, I feel that.
I'm really enjoying the movement towards, and I had mentioned this also before to you guys that there's just been like a shift in the culture because when
Mhm.
I graduated college, the culture was hustle, hustle, hustle. Do whatever you have to do to make money, any means necessary. And I actually kind of commend Gen Z for taking another approach, which is work and just do what I have to do at a regular job and then live life. So I feel like there's a place in the middle, but I actually do like their take on it.
Yeah.
They are wonderful, but also so fucking frustrating to manage because it's like, I know you're right, and so like you have to like, it's kind of like
It's
unlearning.
a balancing act. It's a balancing act
Yeah,
though. You can't do absolutely nothing, like,
yeah,
especially remote working. 'Cause I
Oh,
can
yes.
yeah.
imagine they're like, have you seen? I don't understand why they've been going on TikTok and giving remote work a bad name by saying that they're like at the pool during working hours when they're supposed to be doing stuff. And so now every company thinks that we're not doing anything because they're not doing anything. That I can't get behind.
Yeah.
Right. But also having to unlearn the bad habits that like have been ingrained to you for almost 20 years of working now. And it's like, oh man, that's a really good point.
What are some of the habits?
Like the don't work for free one is huge. And like job hopping used to be really bad. I mean, that used to be considered bad. And I worked for a lot of startups, and so like they would either crash out or lose money, and I would be like accused of job hopping. But like now they're like, fuck it, they didn't pay me, or I didn't like working there. It was a toxic environment. I'm gone. And they do not care. They will leave. They won't give 2 weeks. They're just like gone. And I'm like, I respect that. Like they just don't put up with that shit.
Also, that's how like you get more money nowadays. Because a lot of companies like aren't giving you raises, or they're just giving you, you know, like the like here's like the 1% raise once a year or whatever. But that's not enough. Like I don't know if you've seen the economy, but like that's not gonna cut it.
Can I tell you about a raise I heard? Yeah. So he got the 2%. He got 2% bump, like it was just the general thing. But then he was saying like his boss had like a discretionary spend, so he gave him an extra 0.2%. So he gave him an extra 10% of 2%, and he was like so magnanimous about it. And I was like trying to do the math. I'm like, that's not shit. But he acted like, and here you go. And it was just like, that, no, just no. I'm not.
Oh my gosh.
But it's like you're supposed to be, oh, well, thank you so much. No, thank you.
This job market's insane.
That's what you do.
I know.
I feel like
No, go ahead.
Just job hopping, yeah, it makes sense. Because I feel like people only really stay it anywhere for a year or two now. Like that's the norm.
I've been at my job for 2 years and 4 months, and that's the longest I've ever been anywhere, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
So you're a veteran.
I know. I've been here for years. That's how I feel. It's like years and years, but it's been 2, which like, let's be honest, is not that long, but it just feels like forever because I would have had another job by now. So yeah, staying in place it's really, I don't know, it's just really different.
And I think
I haven't. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think like our parents have a. Oh, sorry. I think our parents have a harder time too with that, because like I've had my parents or like friends' parents have been like, "Oh, you can't keep job hopping. No, you've only been at this company now for a year and a half. Like you can't leave yet." And it's like, but they're not paying me what I'm worth, and they're not treating me well, and I'm burnt out, and this isn't working out for me. Like everybody at work's an asshole, but they're like, no, you must stay. You have to be there for X amount of years. But
yeah,
that's what you do now. So go ahead, Taylor. I'm sorry.
Well, that's a relief to me, because when I started my career, I was at a job that I really did not like, and looking back, it felt like an eternity that I was there. I was only there for like 6 months, but it felt so long. And I think the reason that it felt so long is because I just had that in the back of my mind. Like I was still very in that traditional timeline. So it was like, you have to stay no matter what. Like, and it just felt like I was trapped, that I was locked in. And so I'm so glad that I ended up leaving that job, and now I have this. It's not a problem to be leaving anywhere anymore. Because I mean, there's so many reasons that you could leave within 6 months or a year. Like maybe you got a better job. Like that doesn't mean you're flighty if you're doing what's best for you. Are you supposed to stay somewhere that pays you less? Like,
they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. If you died tomorrow, they would replace you like that. You don't owe them anything, and they like, because they clearly owe you nothing. No loyalty. That's I think the big thing about
Welcome in, Pat.
Gen Z has been like, they understand that there is no loyalty and they are not loyal. And that's like a whole, like, they're not grateful to this company they don't act like they're grateful. They act like the company should be grateful they're there. And again, that's a whole different mindset. And I'm like, yeah, yes, they should be. So I don't know. It's just, they're very empowered. And I don't know.
I've never
really
worked
that.
I've only worked with one Gen Z before. But yeah, I've never managed one, so I don't know what it would be like to do that. I don't know if it'd be challenging or.
I think it's fun,
anecdotally, my husband, the Gen Z that are coming in the army is funny because like think about having that mindset in the army. Like they still have that
In
mindset.
boot camp too, they're like,
Yeah,
no, I don't want to climb that.
he
Thanks,
answered,
though.
yeah, he answered that at
Get
people
your
who are just
husband in
like,
here. We need to hear some of these stories. I'm
I
just kidding.
know
That's
we
so good.
have to, and the thing is he's hilarious. So, but he will go into it's just like it's funny this type of stuff he does because now we're like the old people. Like the army is a young man's game, so they're like all 18 and he's 36, so he's like the geriatric person there. So he'll like sing like T-Pain songs or like just like Sierra songs and they're just like what is that? Like we don't know what that is. That is an
The
oldie. Like
oldies. They're the oldies, you guys.
hilarious. It's hilarious. Yeah,
Oh
but
my
Gen
God.
Z even in the army they're not trying to do anything. So
That's very funny because the army will kick the shit out of you and what I've
but
heard.
no they can't really anymore. Like they've passed
Oh my God.
like
Can you imagine a
like
Gen Z
you
Marine? Like a Gen Z Marine, can you even imagine? Right? Right?
I
I couldn't.
cannot.
No.
It's funny. It's
That's
funny, our
awesome.
military. Yeah.
It's funny, our military.
Oh shit.
Marina said she
I would love this.
received a very generous 3% merit raise, and they told her that she was high on the layoff list.
Oh my gosh.
She's been working her current job, and like they're like, yeah, you're on the layoff list, and it's just been months, and it's like she doesn't know if and when, and
Yeah, what does that mean? I'm so sorry.
well, we're all hoping she
God.
gets laid off soon because she wants the severance. So
Oh
Fingers
yeah.
crossed for you. Fingers crossed, Marina.
we're saying a
I've
prayer
been
for
doing
you.
this exercise at work. Like I'm asking for
Kegels.
access to a specific software, and I'm having to say like, here's all the time we spend doing X, Y, and Z, and here's how much it's costing you. And I've been like afraid they're going to realize like we could really hire someone for a lot cheaper to do exactly what you're doing. And that's a thing like that's a thing that I think Gen Z they're like I need this help. This is why it would help me and they wouldn't be afraid to ask, but I'm like terrified to ask for it because I'm like I'll just do it myself, but like it's getting to a point where I really need help. And
Yeah.
that's not something I've really done before is ask for a chunk of money for something that would help. So like it's just little stuff like that you don't necessarily think about, but they would not hesitate to be like, yeah, I need help doing this and I need this software to make my job better
Yeah,
and do a
no.
better job.
Yeah.
They're very brazen. I don't know if that's the right word, but they're just yeah.
They're their own advocates, which is
Mhm.
admirable.
Very much so.
I think we can learn from the youth.
Listen, Gen Alpha 2 is coming up behind because I don't know if I've told the story here. I know I've told you guys my daughter sent her math teacher an email being like, listen, I don't really have time for math right now. I'm too busy focusing on my other interests, which are art. I'm sure I'll fail, but hopefully this doesn't get me left behind. And then she ended it, thanks for understanding.
I love that. I love that.
You know what? We need
Like, I don't have time for this.
we need more audacity. We really do.
Yes, we really do. We really do. I'm
Yeah.
trying to be more audacious in everything.
Just telling your boss, I don't really have time for this right now. I'm focusing on my other interests.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get there, but I'll try to get there.
No.
Oh my
No.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever get there. So your daughter's very brave.
We could all use that. We could all
Brazen.
use that. Saying no is a big thing in the workplace. Like saying no, I can't do that has been a new thing as well.
Mhm.
Being like, actually, I'm at capacity and I cannot do that has been totally new.
And
Like,
it's still so
Mhm.
hard to do. Like,
oh yes,
ugh.
I think especially with the job market as it is right now, you feel like you don't want to do anything that could rub anyone the wrong way because there's so many
Mhm.
unknowns. Like,
Yeah.
could I be next on the chopping block or um, yeah, it's just laying under the radar, not wanting to cause any problems.
Especially in a specialized industry where it's very small, like ours, where it's just
Mhm.
like there are plenty of people waiting for your fucking job in the wings. So like, you don't
Mhm.
want to make waves. You don't want them to notice you.
It's a very
I don't
scary
know.
time.
Sorry, by the way, for all the nose blowing. It is allergy season, and
Same.
I am like
Yeah,
trying not
you
to
guys
claw
are
my eyes.
We're over here like dying. Taylor's like, I'm in Hawaii.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of pollen everywhere, but maybe I'm just like not allergic to the pollen here. I haven't had a problem since I've been here.
Yeah.
Are you gonna miss it a little bit though? Like I gotta say,
A
I
lot.
couldn't imagine going to the East Coast versus Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's really tough because I want to be close to family. I feel like we're missing out on a lot of like the family holidays and that sort of thing.
Sure.
But I love Hawaii. Like this is one of the best places in the world to me. Like it's very healing. Like I've had traumatic things happen here, but it was the perfect place because there's something like there's an energy about the island and about the people. It's like hearing the ocean and it's like always warm. Everyone's so inviting. It feels like this was the right place for like chaos to happen. So
Yeah.
we hope that maybe we'll be back, like we'll retire here. But if anyone is coming here and needs like recommendations on places to go, let me know because this island is so small. We've tried to find there's so many things to do, even though it's so small. We found a lot of the cool places, so I'm always down to play tour guide.
How long have
But
you
don't
guys
expect
been there?
fucking bidet, people. There's no bidets. No.
Hey, I wasn't gonna bring
There's
that up
no
again.
bidet.
I wasn't gonna bring it up again. Rebecca brought it up again.
Yeah,
This is my favorite new question.
How it was. I'm sorry. I'm weird. I'm awkward. It's fine.
No, it's just a fun question. It's a fun question I never would have asked, and now it delights me. And now everyone I know at every different state I don't live in, I'll be like, do they have bidets in Nebraska? And I'm just gonna ask.
I don't know.
You never know.
How long have you been in Hawaii?
For 3 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 3 years.
Cool.
Oh,
It's great. I love it.
I would miss all the food, I think.
All the food, yeah. Our daughter goes to this really cute local school. They're so nice. So she talks with like a Hawaii accent, which is funny.
Oh.
It's like super cute. Like she says, it's not, you don't pronounce it Hawaii. It's, I can't do it. Hawaii? Hawaii.
Hawaii.
She says it like that. Yeah, like because here there's a mark between the two eyes, and that's supposed to be like a space as you're saying it.
Hawaii.
So I always still say Hawaii, but she says Hawaii, which is really cute. And just like food they have here, one popular one is Bam Masubi, is how I pronounce it, but she pronounced it Masubi. Like she just has taken all these little.
She's like, this is how you
linguistic things
actually
to put-
pronounce it, mother.
She literally did. Oh my gosh! I wish she could be featured on the podcast because her personality is the next level. So she literally told me, I don't know what you're talking about when you say Masubi, but at school we say Masubi. So yeah.
You know what? At least it's not a German accent. It could be worse. It could be a German accent.
It could be a German accent. Yes.
Oof.
No,
that's so
great.
funny. When they start getting sassy like that, be like, mother. When they start like doubting your existence in this world and be like, you are doing something wrong, that's when you know. You're just like, ugh.
Or like like when the baby's crying, she's like, he needs food. Or like, take care of your baby, basically.
Take
I'm
care
like,
of your baby.
Okay. Yeah, one time I was like a few days ago, I was like, Elise, can you like play with your brother? And she was like, oh mom, it's your baby. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay.
Oh.
All right. I'm like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So let me just,
I'm not
get
here to
on up
babysit your child.
I'm like, I try to encourage.
She's like, mother, I don't work for free.
Exactly. It feels like a Barbie is my fee. A Barbie is my fee.
Wow.
Honestly,
She's like, it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you, mother.
As long as she's doing that to everyone else in the world as well, I don't want her working for free. I want her speaking her mind. So try to encourage that.
That's great.
I love it.
We have a lot more audacious children growing up and being in this world. We need it.
For sure.
Which is so interesting because I wasn't like that at all. I was like that as a kid, but then you get the shit beat out of them. So I think the difference is with us not beating the shit out of our kids, they're free to be 100% audacious, and then we have to deal with the fallout of that.
Yeah, I felt like in general, when we were growing up, our society was just like different. It did not allow us, like, not even just our parents, just the
Mm-hmm.
society as a whole is like, this is not how you talk, this is not how you act, you follow this. And it is interesting to see that it's just not the case anymore. You don't
Yeah.
have to follow any guidelines, so
Can you imagine telling an adult to their face, I don't have time for this thing that you do as a profession that you're here to do for me? I don't have time for that.
Like to your manager. I I don't have
I
time
know.
for that.
But like back then, as a kid,
never.
can you imagine just any of the teachers? No, I could never. I would be grounded for
No,
life.
not at all.
I mean,
Mm-mm.
I
Nope.
respect it so much. M is like my role
No, but
model. Like, that's so great. I hate math. I wish that I could have
Mhm.
expressed that
Just
to my
not done it.
teacher.
But I mean, now we
Also,
have AI to do it and a calculator, so
I use my Amazon device and I'll just like yell things at it. It's like, what's 2 + 2? I'm like, I don't have time for this.
I promised her I'd do this. Her boyfriend Noah broke up with her today, and Noah sucks, and we all hate Noah. And I
Noah
promised her I would use my
sucks. You want me to
Noah
clip
sucks.
this?
boo,
I'll
Noah,
clip this and
boo,
like send it to
Yes.
her. Noah
Boo.
sucks.
He
boo.
broke up
Hit.
with her via school email. Like, boo, boo,
Ugh.
Noah. So,
Noah. Hey,
ugh,
Wup. Q says hi. Wait,
bully
what?
that 13-year-old.
Oh, I just realized who Wup is. I didn't know that's who you were. Ah. Tell Q we
Who
said
is
hi.
this?
It's Q's boyfriend. Partner? They're dating?
Hello.
I don't know. Noah's probably a loser who can't even
Yeah,
drive.
he can't
Yes, he
drive.
can't
He's
even
he's a
drive.
virgin. No, he's a virgin who can't drive. Yeah.
Dang,
Awesome.
Noah.
Welcome in,
Yeah.
Wup.
Using her mother's wide social platform to shit on her ex-boyfriend.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
fuck.
Well, this is that feeling where it's like we
Mhm.
have talked and now we all have that feeling and it's like, oh, that was nice. Thank you so
Cathartic.
much though for coming on, Taylor. I am so glad we actually got to spend time and talk to you. I've been
Yeah.
dying to do it for forever.
Can we do
Yeah,
it more?
me too.
Because that would be
Yes,
We
great.
are going
love
to
to
do
do
it
it more.
more.
Okay.
It's
Yes,
going to be in
please.
the Discord, chatting, talking, working alongside because I get lonely. I love working remotely, but also I wish I did co-working a lot more. So I think I might do that on the East Coast. Like I like working alongside other people. Like I
Yeah.
feed off the
We
energy.
Yeah.
we did it yesterday. That was really nice because I had
We
like
did
some
it
bullshit I was
today.
working on.
Hmm.
We did it today and it was like it was just kind of like that extra bop to keep you going so you weren't
Hmm.
I don't know. And then yeah, I love it.
She can
So can you
email him
And
the
then
manage?
clip
Jamie's like,
via
I'm gonna
school
take a nap.
email. I'm like, what?
Yeah. And then Jamie's like, I'm gonna go take a nap. Like,
Listen, I'm
okay.
tired. I really hope I'm not getting sick. I'm feeling like I'm just slowly
What do
dying.
you, what I, ever since I got COVID that one time, um, every time I get sick, it starts here as a tingle. Do you feel that ever? No? Well, how do you know when you're starting to get sick? Like, what's the symptom?
I guess it depends. I mean, right now it's just like I don't know for sure, and I really hope not because I have a trip coming up. Um, but it's just like my throat's kind of bothering me, and like I can't stop coughing, and but I am very
Oh,
sinusy,
okay.
so like I kind of have like sinus
Yeah.
pressure and pain and headache, and I'm like
Yeah.
a little stuffed up. But that just
My
could
eyes
be
get hot. Like right here with
oh,
your eyes feeling hot. I don't know. That's how I always know I'm getting
Oh,
sick is hot eyes. Which sounds weird, but I don't know.
look at me
Maybe
it's,
that's a
no,
people thing.
with
everybody's
your
different.
hot
Yeah,
eyes.
mine.
Yeah,
My hot eyes.
you have hot eyes. She has a tingly nose. I
Yeah,
have pressure.
all this.
Yeah. Hot
But
Eyes
yeah,
was my nickname in college. Nice, Marina.
Hot eyes.
Hot Eyes was my nickname in college.
That's a good nickname. That means you have like intriguing eyes.
It really, I hate to break this to you, Taylor, but that really wasn't her nickname. She's just, she's being funny.
who's being asked?
It's a bit. It was a
Did you
bit.
have an actual nickname? Did you have an actual nickname in college for real?
Me?
Yeah, any one of you. Either one of you.
Oh, no. They called me Tay.
Oh.
Really a nickname.
They actually called me, a lot of my friends called me Q, but that's only because I played a lot of World of Warcraft when I was in college. And so I played with like a bunch of people like from school that were my friends. And all my names always started with a Q in there. So people always would just call me Q.
Nice.
Yeah.
The hot one. All right. Well, yeah, Taylor, where can they find you online? They can find you at TikTok at taylor.medine, Medine.
Yeah.
You can also Google her
New
to
to
find
TikTok.
her excellent writing, multiple articles on multiple different personal finance websites. She's a great fucking writer.
She is great.
Thank you.
Yeah. I can't wait to do this again with you.
Yeah.
Yay,
yeah, we'll have to have you on.
I so appreciate this.
Yeah, we'll have to have you on another time as well. But yeah, thank you for doing this. Thank you for talking with us. It's also just so good to come in the Discord and like hang with us. And you can even message us if nobody's on and like you kind of need a buddy. Like we just message each other sometimes and we're like, hey, who wants to get on and co-work? So
yeah, that's a lot of fun.
I totally will. I will. Thank you guys so much for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was great. We'll have you again, I'm sure. We're definitely planning on like doubling up on guests because I don't mean to brag, but we do have the best guests.
So awesome.
Yeah. So audacious, brazen. Yeah.
You know what though? It's weird. Like I've always wondered because I've always had like people that I've known in my life who are just really fucking cool, and I feel like this is what we're meant to do is just bring all our cool friends on and talk to them because I've always like just so many talented people I've known from different jobs, and it's like this is what it's for. We just bring them on and talk to them. I love it.
That is what I love about it. I think I was telling Taylor that actually is like we haven't had a man on yet, which is fine.
Yes. Never.
But we just
will you ever have a man on?
No, they have enough. They don't need this podcast. They're not allowed.
Okay.
They already have everything else.
I'm sure we'll have a man on at some point. But no, but we just get to talk to like a lot of like just badass women like that we've known and like and like you, like we just kind of like know from afar, like we worked with them for a little bit and like some people, you know, are like closer to us, but most people are just we get to know more of their story and it's great. It is really fun.
It's interesting that everyone has a story. Like there's a surface level that amount that you know, and then once you dig deep, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
There's a lot down there.
Yeah. It's like you should see somebody. I don't know. I'm just kidding. We are big proponents of therapy.
I love that, yeah. Therapy
we should all
is
go to therapy.
Everybody should be in therapy.
Yes. Therapy is a must.
Listen, the day you know you've won is when your mother's like, hey, can I have a number for your therapist? Like, that's when you've won life, when you get your mother to go to therapy.
Rebecca's only saying that because that happened to her. So she's like, I won life.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell my old therapist that that's what was going to happen. So, like, I wanted it to be a fun surprise to see if she could figure out whose mother this was.
Oh, she went to your old therapist?
Yeah, I don't think it worked out, though, so she's seeing someone else. But I wanted to be like, hey, guess who?
Oh, my
God.
Funny. How did you not message her? I would have immediately been like,
really?
My mom's about to book an appointment with you. You have to tell me everything.
No, I really did want to see if she could guess. Be like, that sounds familiar, but like from a different vantage point and maybe less dramatic.
And
interesting.
Maybe wrong.
Heard this. And maybe slightly wrong. Yeah. So
funny.
Yeah, that's when you get your parents to go to therapy or at least talk about feelings. That's when you've won. When they talk about feelings.
I would love that if my parents would go to therapy. I just think, yeah.
It is nice.
God, everyone's parents should go to therapy.
Yeah. Well, we've officially strung out this very long goodbye. Again, thank you so much, Taylor, for being here. We love you.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for sharing with
us. For having me.
And
for sure. I love
we'll see you guys in 2 weeks with Morgan.
Yeah, that's right. We'll see you. So we're off next week, and then May 15th, we'll have Morgan on. So thank you guys for being here. Yeah, we're going to be 40.
Yeah, next time you see 40.
Happy birthday, guys.
Are you ready? Thank you. Thank you. All right. We'll see you guys later. Let's see if my stream works. Love you guys. Bye. Don't know. It's not working.
Oh no.
We're still here.
Don't look at us. Everyone close their eyes.
Don't look at us.